Hello everyone, I'm the Gnome and welcome to my new chat show which we're going to do hopefully every Saturday, discussing games, films, sport, all of that lovely good stuff. And today with us we have a guest.
Hello, I'm SilentLogic. Today I'm here to hopefully help a bit more on the console side of things rather than this man's PC orientated chit chat basically.
Today in our chat show we're going to discuss our favourite games of 2012. Yes, we're running a little bit late considering it's now February, but I started doing these videos a couple of months ago, so really that's my excuse. Not a great excuse admittedly, but it's an excuse we're going to go for. I'm going to start off with discussing probably one of my favourite games easily, which is Planetside II.
He always talks about it, doesn't he?
I do also talk about Planetside II. You've also seen some footage about it as well. Planetside II is a first-person shooter, multiplayer online shooter. So if you want to put an acronym out of that, good. It's got a lot of letters. It's a persistent world in which you level up a single character. You can change classes from your gunner, sniper, engineer, medic, and it's played over a constant, huge landscape, which would take you probably about 7 hours to run from one side to another. And the really important thing about it is its scope. Whereas a lot of games want to force a single player experience down your throat, a lot of games want to basically have the individual go through a certain set of steps. They want the individual to live the movie that the producers have and the developers have created. Planetside 2 wants you to basically make your own movie.
Do you feel that it's missing any elements of that?
I would say not. I like, in maybe comparison to other, maybe like Modern Warfare 2, where it takes you down a very set route. And yes, that's very good. You get to see like the plot side is really good. Planetside 2 is multiplayer only, so there is no single player experience. There is no, at this point, no practice. There's no like bot version.
So jump in, play, you work it out as you go.
Yeah, that's probably the bad thing about it, is it gives you no idea as to what you're supposed to be doing when you first play into it. There's no like trial version. There's no, just give it a go.
Do you think they need potentially some sort of small scope map for people to have a practice in? Because obviously you mentioned 7 hours running across. You jump straight in. I don't know what I'm doing. Where do I go?
Yeah, I think that's fair. The developers are looking into introducing some more kind of newbie flavoured content, because it probably will turn a lot of people off. Jumping in, you get dropped from a drop ship into the middle of whichever's the biggest battle going on, and then you die pretty quickly. So I would say that bit is the negative side, that it's not very newbie friendly. Once you're into it though, it's amazing. You can fly a jet, you can drive tanks, you can drive little jeeps, you can snipe, you can basically get into a massive Iron Man-esque suit of armour.
So very similar to the Battlefield orientated games.
Yeah, I would say
large scale map, couple of vehicles, objective based sort of in the sense.
Yeah, so objective base. Across the map there's a load of different bases, and there's 3 fractions to pick from, and you basically have to go and take over the bases. Unfortunately, at this point there is no really kind of end game to it. So you take over a map, fantastic. You don't really get any huge benefits for it, and then when you log back in the following day, it's likely that map's been reset back to normal, and you just do the same thing again. So I'd say on the negative side, it can be a bit repetitive because it's the same objective. So there isn't, for example, like other online games, a capture the flag mode or a specific team deathmatch. It is just objective based, kind of King of the Hill style.
Right, moving on to our second title within the list, we're going to look at Halo 4, the massive game for Xbox, exclusive title. Was done by Bungie a long time ago. They did 3 successive games. No longer the case. They decided to drop Halo. So Microsoft had a big decision, and they passed the reins over to 343, who I would have to say have done the franchise justice, done a great job with the new game. Again, they've been chucked loads of money at it, but they could have blown that and wasted all of it and done an absolutely atrocious thing to Halo. But they pulled it off, and they've produced a really great game. You've got a fantastic single player from Master Chief back doing what he does best, shooting up the Covenant. Great story. You get fully immersed within that story from beginning to end. Again, there's no real moving around, you don't decide on anything really, you just follow the story, but that's what you want. You've got the other aspects of the game as well. You've got massively online multiplayer game that's loved by everybody. Got all the classic modes that you're really interested in as well. King of the Hill, Team Deathmatch, normal deathmatch as well. Great selection of weapons. Again, things you're not going to get from a normal online shooter. They've done something even better that I think stands out from the rest, is that they do a weekly Spartan Ops, basically. So every week they release a list of 5 new episodes for you and your 3 friends to go play as you feel free. They're not massive, they only take about 10 minutes each, but it's a good chunk of time every week. It's free at the present moment. They are going to end up with it being an online purchase, but so far they are on episode 6 and 7. You can't go wrong really with that. They're replayable. You can change the difficulty on them to legendary if you really want to challenge yourself. They've even got their own videos to begin with them, and they're not talking 2-second videos. They are a good 3-4 minute long, proper animated videos.
So they put some actual good effort into these little additional, almost DLCs.
In essence, it could have been easily charged as DLC to begin with, but they wanted you to see what it was like, and it makes you come back week after week after week just to have a play of these 5 episodes with your mates. I played them several times, so I've got my money's worth from them easily. And the videos, yes, you can only watch them by yourself, so you can't get your mates together and all watch the video together. It's a tiny negative, but you just watch the video before you start, get them all together, follow the story. It's an okay story. It's nothing. You're never going to get on par with the single player story. To begin with, the first episodes were a little bit repetitive with the maps and the jobs that you had to do. They have sorted this out with the newer episodes, and it's more than likely, it's a start. They're going to get better with this type of thing, in essence.
Seems quite clever for me that it's going to just keep that Halo itch just there, that if you're going to come back and play it like every week, you're then going to remember things that you loved about it and go, you know what, I'll give single player on the multiplayer go, just another game. So quite clever, just to, almost like a drug dealer, just keep you interested in the title.
Hey, if Halo was a drug, I'd be taking it.
Nice. So for a change, I'm now going to talk about a cross-platform title, not just a PC exclusive, although it really should just be a PC exclusive. And that's going to be XCOM, Enemy Unknown. XCOM was originally a PC title back in the 90s, I think, and it's now back in its original format. They've tried to remake XCOM multiple times, and they're trying to make a first-person shooter, which looks absolutely god-awful. XCOM should be, and always will be, an isometric, turn-based tactical shooter. The good thing about XCOM is that it's really on its own. There isn't anything else along the same lines. And it fulfills a hunger that you didn't really know existed. It's good when we get to see top-level games coming out, trying new genres, even though it is a remake from early ago. There isn't anything else like it that has been released in the last 10-15 years. It's beautiful, the graphics are absolutely great with it. You've also got some RTS-style base building elements. So it's got quite a lot of different genres all mixed together. The main part about it, the best thing about it, would be the fact that you can name your soldiers, and it is absolutely tragic then going into battle with your character named after yourself, your character named after your friends, and then seeing them get gunned down. There's many a time I've shouted, sworn, screamed at the computer because I've got one of my friends killed after my own inept tactical ability, so I've got really no one else to blame other than myself.
Which is strange, because I called one of my characters the gnome, and I purposely put him in harm's way.
You absolute bastard. I loved you when you were there. You survived to the end of my game. So that is a really nice element. It just adds extra characterization to it. It makes you care about the characters. For example, Master Chief. Do you really care about Master Chief because he's a 10-foot tall, unstoppable beast? Though your little person named after your best friend,
Yeah.
You're going to be a little bit more kind of sympathetic, a lot more defensive about it. It's a cracking game, loads of difficult levels. The game is also huge. It's got multiplayer, which isn't great at the moment. They really need to put some extra work into that. Put some extra work into that, it'll be fantastic.
From a single player perspective, again, yes, it is on the consoles as well. There's nothing else like it on a console, pretty much at the moment, from that type of game. Again, you've got your shooter games that we all talk about all the time, but from a top-down shooting perspective, strategy-based, it's nothing like it. And it works as well with the controller, which is the main thing, which people just think, click, point, mouse.
As it's turn-based, it's almost, in weird ways, there's less pressure and more pressure. Because it's turn-based, you can spend some time thinking about your next move. So you're not having to rush around. On the bad side of that, because it's turn-based, you make that decision and you fuck it up, you could absolutely wipe out your entire crew. So you have to really, really think in great detail about what you're going to use, the cover you're going to have, the risks you're going to take. It's really, really good.
The great thing as well is that you have to decide on your troops before you get to the map. So if you only take one medic and you put him at the front and he dies, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. The game is harsh at times. It doesn't care who you've got, who you've named for. You're going to have some damage, and you're going to see people you've named, people you named, people you've loved, people you've had on the game for 20 hours die in a horrendous explosion, and it's gutting. It's harsh.
One of the things I do love about it is that you can get 20 hours in and you fail.
Yes, there actually is. Unlike most modern games, there is a fail state. That if you fucked up early doors, which I've done multiple times, I think I may have a restart the game about 15 times. Yeah, you can get so far, and the game goes, well, essentially the game goes, fuck you, you've made poor decisions in the past, and now this is what's going to happen.
Right, moving on to the fourth title that we'd like to talk about today. Massive title, every platform. PCs, Xbox, PlayStation. Sorry, Wii.
But you've got a Wii, you're not a gamer. Sorry.
True. Woo! Simple game. Everyone probably has heard of this, played this. Well, apart from Mr. PC. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Massive title. Call of Duty titles have been going around now for a very long time. They have been getting bigger and bigger as they've gone. Again, they did have a little dip recently, but they've picked that back up with Black Ops 2. It's a very good game. The single player has done something in a first-person shooter that I haven't seen I don't think I've seen at all, in fact, is that you make decisions as you go through the single player. It will end in multiple different endings based on that as well. Great idea for a first-person shooter, not just A to B, shoot the bad guy at the end. Multiplayer is Call of Duty's biggest selling point, I would have to say. I know when I pick up the title, I do not put single player in first, straight to multiplayer. It is huge when it comes to Call of Duty. Its only other competition would have to be Battlefield, basically. But Call of Duty have got it right this time again with their multiplayer. The perk system is brilliant. You get 10 points to spend on your perks. You don't even have to have 2 guns, you don't have to have a pistol, you can have all perks, you can have grenades. You decide what your guy wants to wear, how he wants to carry things. Great idea. Not restricted in any way, apart from the 10-point system, of course, but you shouldn't be able to have everything. That would be crazy.
What's the balance like? Is there leveling? So, for example, if you come into the game now as a new person against somebody who's had the game since it opened, is there a power differential?
Regarding the guns, yes, you do unlock more guns as you move across through the games and you level up. Apart from the whole aspect that if you go into the game and someone's been playing it and they've prestige, as they call it, when you get to level 55 and then start again, where you do lose everything, then yes, he's going to be a bit better than you because he knows the map a lot better than you, which is obvious. Gun-wise, no, you don't have to be the best shooter to be able to handle the guns. If you can do any first-person shooter, you're still going to be able to shoot that guy that's been playing it 20 hours. He doesn't get special body armor. You will get it yourself eventually. He will get better perks than you to begin with, but it's only fair because he's put the time in before you did. It does self-adjust itself, so if you go into a game, it will try to find people on your level. So you're not going to be facing these people at prestige 10 times, and you're basically just going to cower in the corner. The best thing probably about Call of Duty is that it's 3 games in one. Value for money. Not only did you get the single player, the multiplayer, they've also made this time a zombies campaign mode. It is a great little game. You and 3 other your mates team up to bash zombies' heads in, basically, with all manner of guns and weapons. Great bit of fun. Puzzles in there as well. So not only just running around and shooting, there is a couple of things that you can think about. Turning generators on, for instance, and then unlocking secret doors to then power up your guns with a special alien device that make it...
Sounds a bit Left 4 Dead.
In essence, it is a little bit Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead is a great title as well. The fact that you're getting the single player and the multiplayer as well as a great zombie game, it basically follows on from their previous zombie titles that they did inside the other Call of Duty games, but they've amped it up. Basically it's a free roaming map. You wander around this map. There's a bus that picks you up from a point. You get on this bus to move over to the next section. You can run between the sections, but if anyone's seen anything zombie orientated, foot is not the best idea.
Get on the bus!
Pretty much.
And finally, we're going to have a joint choice for 2012's game. And that's going to be Telltale's The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead game is a mix of decision trees, point-and-click adventure, and also quick time events. That doesn't sound great, admittedly, but it just all works together. It's hinged on an absolutely fantastic story. Story involves our hero being transported to jail after killing his wife and her lover in a fit of passion. The police car crashes, he escapes, and then he takes into his arms a child that he then looks after for the remaining of the episodes. There's 5 episodes across the whole series. They were released every couple of months in 2012, and for the PC it was about £20–21 non-sale price. It was always on sale on Steam, but it was about 21 quid for all 5 episodes, and I would say that's probably about 15 hours worth of gameplay, which I find alright.
Yeah, again, it was on the consoles as well. It was about 400 Microsoft points. I can't tell how much it was on the PlayStation, but a great little game. As the gnome said, it came out every couple of months, and you finished the first one and you just wanted to play the second one immediately. That is my idea of a great storytelling game.
Yeah, I agree. So this is probably the only game that I've ever played that's made me cry. I know I probably shouldn't admit it, but yeah, exactly. At the end, it is absolutely heartbreaking. Through the game, you're responsible for the child, little Clementine, and everything you do is to try and make sure she has the best upbringing as possible. Playing this game makes me think I would actually be a decent father, because I looked after her more than I've looked after anything else I've ever owned. Any plants, any pets, any friends.
Yeah,
I've looked after Clementine far more. I've put more time and effort into keeping an eye on her than anyone else or any other thing I've ever done. So The Walking Dead is based on the comic books rather than the actual TV series. We get to see a couple of little bits of crossovers early doors against characters from the comic books who also then turn up in the TV series. But it's really about looking after Clementine. That's the whole part. The graphic style is a kind of cel-shaded, cartoony style graphic style, which works really well. It's not kind of overly realistic. It's not super cartoony. It's got a nice balance, would you say?
I would agree, yeah. It's not the high-end graphics that you're going to expect from a big title, because it's only a little studio that did this.
True.
Would you agree that the success of this game, probably for the 2012 year, was based because of the TV series that came out, even though it's not really linked?
I probably wouldn't, to be honest. I think the reason it's been so successful is just how good it is. Yes, The Walking Dead Series 3 has been pretty good, but Series 2 and 1 were a bag of wank. But I think because of the episodic nature, word of mouth has really sold this game. They also released Episode 1 on the iPad for free, which is absolute genius.
Yeah,
because if you play that one episode, you're then going to instantly buy all the rest. So they really just want to try and get people into it, and the game stands up for itself, in my opinion. I think the reason people continue to play it is because it's a fantastic, well-written and interesting game. Things that you do at the beginning will have an impact later on. Not a huge impact, but different decisions, different arguments, different people in your group. So it does feel as though you are involved in the game, that the decisions you make will matter.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, the decisions I made during mine ended up in an ending that, well, like I'm not going to say I cried, because I'm a man.
You cried.
I cried.
So everyone should go buy, download, legally of course, The Walking Dead. It's my game of 2012.
It's my game as well of 2012.
Yeah, so if we can agree on it, then it must be a good game. There's also going to be a sequel coming at some point from Telltale because of how successful it was. Absolutely fantastic. I'll keep you up to date when that comes out. Any demos or anything, that'll be fantastic. But yeah, The Walking Dead, by far the best game of 2012. So thanks so much everyone for watching. Please like, share, comment on this video. If you want to hear more from SilentLogic, let me know, and we'll look to arrange these on a more regular basis. Hopefully we can do this at least kind of every week or maybe every 2 weeks. So I quite have enjoyed this kind of chat show style. Yeah. Hopefully you at home have enjoyed it. Hopefully our guests have enjoyed it.
I have.
Excellent. So thank you much everyone for watching, and cheers. See you later.